I just had this phenomenally great, worthwhile epiphany on YouTube monetization paradigms that I wanted to get off my chest and to explain to you why this channel is the way it is. Okay, now, all right, number one, this is like every other channel on YouTube is supposed to be. This is about me saying what I think. This is my social media. You post what you think to yours. So consequently, I'm not a businessman. This is not something that I do to raise money. I have a job. I have a job that I like. I've probably talked about it, and you may be tired of hearing about it, but I have a job, so I have an income, and I don't believe in the YouTube/Google/Alphabet monetization scheme because the way they track ads and the things that they're selling to people, I knew were not the kinds of things that were going to, my site was not the kind of site that was going to drive people who were going to buy those things. Ergo, I knew that making money this way was unlikely, if not impossible for me. Because most people who have channels that are done to make money are selling people things they already want to buy, or it's driving their taste. And I don't really care. If you have a business, then your business has to be built around what the customer is actually looking to buy or things that the customer finds valuable. And so I had a business years ago and I lost like $50,000 because I wasn't the kind of person who would sell things I wouldn't buy or who was willing to deal with the interplay and the shenanigans. I have a lot of trouble on eBay with people who are upset about things that they made mistakes about or about things I don't control. Like I keep forgetting to file a claim with the Postal Service over an item I shipped that was absolutely smashed. The box must have had a box dropped on top of it, and I have nothing to do with that because once it leaves my control, I have no idea what the post office does with it. So it arrived, of course, damaged, and of course they wanted a refund, so I have to go out to the post office to get my money back. Because, of course, they don't want to do that because that requires work, right? So I get to do it. And I don't get paid for that work. I get to break even for that work. So, and then now I look at all these people on YouTube who are losing their monetization status, who are using it as a source of income because they're saying things that YouTube doesn't like or because they're saying things that to which YouTube doesn't direct traffic. Because the number two thing that bothers me about monetization is how often it is. I was watching this 54-minute instructional video this afternoon, and I kid you not, every 5 minutes, because I wasn't sitting here watching it, I was doing other things while I was playing. I'd have to stop what I was doing, come back over here and click skip ad. Every 5 minutes there was an ad that would autoplay ads until I came over and said click skip ads. That's annoying as hell. That's worse than TV. I mean, at least a TV commercial break lasts for a certain period of time and then it automatically goes back to the movie. What are they thinking? I hope the people who have these ads in their videos are making bank because their paradigm is forcing me to watch ads, and most of the ads, I mean, it's about hair loss products and manscaping, weight loss. There's a ton of Trump ads. There was one for hefty garbage bags. It's like, what is it about my internet activity that makes you think I'm buying any of this junk? Or is it that the people who who watch these videos are buying those things, so you've just assumed anyone who watches this video wants to see this ad? No! But I got tired of the interruptions, so if you come to my channel, because it isn't monetized, you can watch as long as you want and know that you're probably not going to be interrupted because it's not monetized and I don't want it to be. Number three, the monetization thing about YouTube seems to be guided by arbitrary and subjective analytics from people who work for these companies. They decide because if you say the wrong word or you mention the wrong things, or I mean you talk about COVID-19 and all of a sudden, bam, your video is demonetized, even if you just mentioned, like, because of COVID-19, and you weren't even talking about it. You can't talk about controversial things unless you're saying the right things, or you won't have it monetized. If you talk about subjects they don't like, channels are disappearing, they're having their videos removed, they're being shadow banned, And I know my channels were all labeled as ineligible for monetization. And I'm like, I'm not willing to do the work for that, because this is really just something that I do to communicate with the world. I had a blog, now I'm working on my YouTube channel, and this is really just my expression and my contribution to the communication sphere. My friend Tom once said, either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. So I'm writing something worth reading or doing something worth writing to get people to think about it. And so monetization of this really is not important to me. Fortunately for me, I didn't lose my job during the pandemic. In fact, the dean came and talked to me this week, and we were talking about how the governor's decisions will impact things. And we're losing a lot of part-timers because they're in the at-risk categories. The governor's furlough program means that you can't do overtime in a pay period where you're on a furlough. So we're talking about how to get around that, because we're still going to have to go to work if they let us hold classes, and someone's still going to have to do the work. And we have this right hand, left hand not knowing what each other is doing, and he's operating in a vacuum. I made a video and sent it to him. I know someone in his office watched it, but no action, as far as I know, has been taken. And so I have a job and I will get money, and this is not for money. Now, if you want to send me money, I'm not going to argue, but I don't believe that Google or Alphabet or YouTube or whatever should be earning money simply because you are here watching my videos. So if they ever put ads in my videos, I'll be upset because I don't want them to. Okay? If you choose to send me money, that's your business. But if they make money because you're here and I don't get a dime, then it's only because of the way this is set up that that's even possible. That because I put it on their site, they're allowed to use it to make money. But it's my intellectual property. It doesn't belong to them. None of these things belong to them. They didn't create this content, and then they will censor stuff and shadow ban me if they don't like what I have to say, which they may do to this video because I'm, of course, targeting them for being subjective, because they are. Every human is subjective. Every single one of them. Okay? Some of them are less subjective than others. That's all there is to it. So if you wanted to send me money, that's cool, but I'm not going to force you to, and I'm not going to support a paradigm that enriches them at your expense and that enriches them at my expense. Because if they're running ads on this video and I'm not making a dime, they are stealing my intellectual property for their gain. I don't want ads because I hate being interrupted when I'm watching a video. Anyway, droned on long enough. Yeah. If you like it, great. Share it. And if it lifts a life, then that's what this is for. This isn't about getting rich. I have enough money. You know, I know there are rich people who would never say that. I have coworkers who make six figures who are like, it's never enough. And I'm like, that's because you're driving a BMW Z3. But that's another story altogether. Or the guy with the Tesla? Yeah. The guy with the Tesla. And it's not the cheap one. It's like an upgraded one. Anyway. People who are not fiduciarily savvy, who have almost no acumen whatsoever. And I read an article today on that topic that said it's the spending of the rich that has actually put us into this predicament in the first place, because people who don't consider themselves rich because of their spending habits are creating problems because they're spending more than they have, and they're not poor. Not by any legal definition, they're only poor because their outcome of their income is that their income is all gone out. Because it doesn't really matter how much you earn, it matters what you do with it. And fortunately, I'm not dependent on this channel, and I thank God for that every day. If you have blessings in your life that mean that you don't have to worry about certain things, count your lucky stars. I do that every morning on my drive to work, and I thank God for the things that I don't have to deal with and for the good things that I used to have that made it possible. And you should too. So this site used to be free, and if you're paying for it, you shouldn't be. Let me know. If they put ads on my channel, you tell me, because I protest that. and methinks he doth protest too much. So have a great day. Godspeed. Keep up the good work, and stay vertical unless you're sleeping.